Guys, welcome to this special edition of Michi's Esport Diaries, and it is going to be a huge thank you. Because a huge thank you for you guys. Without you, we would not be in the position where we are right now. We would not have 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And generally speaking, we would not have the community and that growth that we've had in recent years. I'm now a streamer for almost a bit more than 7 years, or close to 7 years. I think I really started streaming in August 2017, so that is up to 7 years. It took us to build 10,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel, mainly with our Factor 2 content. And again, I would like to express my deep gratefulness, if that's a word, for you guys to enjoying the channel, enjoying the streams, commenting on the videos, interacting with us on the streams, on the videos, on the channel itself, joining us on our Discord community as well, where you can find a join link down in the comment and the video description below. It is an absolute overwhelming feeling to have made those 10,000 subscribers as a major milestone. And as much as growth sometimes is irrelevant when you talk about the metrics, you know, YouTube ranks you rather by the number of views, the watch time, the click-through rate, and so on, which is like deciding how successful your channel is going to be ultimately. I am still extremely happy and proud. Like, it is, you know, it's 10,000 people that feel like they want to watch the stuff I'm doing. And that is a great reward. That is a great appreciation from my end. Ultimately, of course, as a streamer, whatever you do, you need to do it with fun, because otherwise you're not going to be authentic. And then it's just me sometimes not being in the best mood, and it's just me sometimes not being that smiley boy because my, I don't know, relaxed facial expression is rather, doesn't look too happy, right? But I got born with that face, I've grown up with that face, and I'm probably gonna die with that face in a couple of 10 years time. So hopefully 70, 80, 90, whatever. And as much as I'm not sitting there with a, you know, with a big smile, with spreading just positivity only and all that stuff, I still take it that you guys still enjoy and also maybe appreciate the anger sometimes. Maybe also can relate to the rages that we have. Sometimes the one or other rage is for surely over the top. That is a constant part of my reflection, where I'm shutting down the stream and I'm sitting in the dinner and be like, maybe I shouldn't have done that way I did it. But at the end of the day, I think this is also part of my personality, right? You guys gonna see me in the streams just exposed. I'm not sitting there trying to play a kind guy, trying to play being a happy Michi, trying to play and act like I cannot be turned down or I cannot be made angry by whatever things. It's no. What you see there is like the most authentic me. Yes, I am able to at least conduct myself in a way where I'm not flaming, where I could get like, you know, a couple of big F words out. Sometimes they come, and yeah, sometimes I would rather have a beep somewhere. But I surely wouldn't have had the brain capacity to press the beep button before I break out in anger. So yeah, it is what it is. That's just me. And you know, at the end of the day, if I would not love, if I would not enjoy streaming and content creation of what I'm doing with my limited wisdom, my limited time, I wouldn't simply do it. You know, I don't have any obligation to do this. I don't have any any you must do this. I don't have any contracts that need to make me doing this. No, I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for the community. I want to be out there in the world of sim racing, being an influencer after all. Of course, that is part of my goals, and of course, I want to be considered being a guy full of wisdom and full of knowledge within the sim racing community, as much as I have my favorites and my not so much favorites in terms of racing games and tracks and stuff like that. But yeah, it is a huge honor for me to have at least found more than 10,000 people on the YouTube page that appreciate what I'm doing, that are interested in the knowledge that I'm sharing, that are interested in seeing the point of view when racing. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you. A huge thank you to everyone that has liked the videos, to everyone that has subscribed to the channels, whether that is on YouTube, on Twitch, or the other social media channels that I'm more or less operating in a bad way. Classic factor of limited time, not correct focus, I guess, on it when you're talking from a strategy point of view. But I don't care after all. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I really appreciate everyone's time. I want you guys to have a good time hanging out with us there, mainly on Le Mans Ultimate and R Factor 2, but generally hanging out with us in the world of sim racing. I know that there will be people that won't like what we do. I know there will be people that will enjoy seeing us fail, seeing us fall and whatnot. But don't you worry, I'm going to stand up again, and I'm just going to keep going for the time being. And yeah, that is what this special video shall be about. This, in the very first place, a huge thank you. I am really, really grateful, and from the bottom of my heart, really, really proud on you guys and on me as well, for like 7 years of time that it took to grow the channel up to a point. There were lots of moments where I'm like, maybe I'm never ever going to reach a 10K. I really wasn't out a couple of years ago, simply because I was like, yeah, you know, sim racing is a niche. R Factor 2 is a niche in the niche of sim racing. So maybe R Factor 2 itself has limited my like the amount of people interested in the content that I do. That might well be, but at the end of the day, and that's what I said a couple of minutes ago, this is what we love doing. We love being fast on R Factor 2. We love the driving on R Factor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate more than we do in any other sim. So this is what we do. This is the content that I am delivering, and this is the content that I'm creating. It is mainly about R Factor 2. Sometimes an F123, sometimes iRacing, sometimes ACC or even AMS2. No worries, I'm not shutting my eyes or closing my eyes off these titles, but mainly it is going to be R Factor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate. And to have grown the channel that far with you guys together on a game or on a type of content that we love most, that gets a big smile on my face for sure. And I'm really, really thankful and grateful for that for you guys. So thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers overall. But guys, that is not only that's not the only fact why this is a Michi's Esport Diary special. The other fact is I want to talk with you guys about Le Mans Ultimate. Because Le Mans Ultimate is out about 2 months now, and I have to say, as a R Factor 2 streamer, as a guy that comes from R Factor 2, it is obviously very familiar. As much as the force feedback is, let's say, has not that fidelity, has not that intensity, has maybe also not that level of detail. I hope it's a known issue on the Le Mans Ultimate side, but as much as we have also those issues of it still being an early access, I think it is an extremely nice approach, an extremely great game. Le Mans Ultimate has contributed to the goal that we've just referred to minutes ago in a huge and big way. Guys, in the last 2 months, 20% of the entire channel and community growth is been done by Le Mans Ultimate alone in 2 months' time. Now, 20% is always relative, but you've seen the channels, you've seen the channels rising. Maybe you are, just because of Le Mans Ultimate, you came to our channel and now seeing what we're doing since years. So it was always a factor of that will be a key part of the business. That will be a key part for me streaming towards you. And don't you worry, you'll see more Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2 videos coming. But when we want to talk about the game, how good is it? How does it compare to other racing games? And what is my ultimate thought and ultimate thinking of it? Then here we are. How great is it? Coming from an rFactor 2 perspective, it is really, really close to rFactor 2, but yet different. Hypercars and the hypercars hybrids and the hypercar tire models are key areas where things are really, really different. I do absolutely love the tire model of these hypercars. And as much as they feature cold tire physics, so you're really sliding around with cold tires, you're really searching desperately for grip, and it really takes a little bit of time to heat them up. I think we still have the issue that minimum tire pressure is the meta, so there you see the close link to rFactor 2. Yet, however, that is already an improvement. That is already a big step. Also, hypercar tires, you can't drift slide them like you would be able to do on an rFactor 2. Like you've seen maybe Funval, LMH streams on rFactor 2, let's say in Virtual Endurance Championship, or also back then when low fuel motorsport was still a thing on rFactor 2. The way you drift slide that LMH Funval in RF2, you cannot drift it in Le Mans Ultimate. It is simply not possible. It is possible, but you're going to spin, period. That is what the new tire model is doing. And I think that is a really, really great approach. So for exploring rFactor 2 physics on a proper tire model, hypercars are a very, very good thing to see it. Then about the game in general, it is a pity that it is just limited to WEC content from 2023 at the minute. Not sure what happens with 2024 content, whether there will be DLCs, what is the roadmap, I don't know, we will find out in the future. But I would love to have these physics, to have that that tire model that we have there on the hypercar. I would love to race that with Formula 1 cars. I would love to race that with, I don't know, different type of prototypes, different kind of cup cars, like literally everything that we have in rFactor 2. So I ultimately, obviously hope that things we have from Le Mans Ultimate might be actually transferred to rFactor 2. That would be so amazing. Because I really think that those games are really comparable and compatible, I think. With each other. Obviously, Le Mans Ultimate is based on the core G-Motor physics engine from rFactor 2, but at the same time, rFactor 2 obviously lacks the love of the devs and lacks the love of putting more effort into it to like keep having a great game or keep having a development on it. Maybe we need an rFactor 3 because rFactor 2 is for 10 years out on the market or 11 years in the meanwhile, and it's really branded as that game that produces issues all the time. So maybe to clear up these things, we need an rFactor 3 or we need a different type of game. And Le Mans Ultimate can be really seen as that. And we had a major impact. We had over 5,000 players on the first day, more than 3,000 in the 2 weeks after. Sadly, the numbers, I think, have dropped now to R Factor 2 levels. But at the same time, if you would see Le Mans Ultimate as being like R Factor 2, so 2 R Factor 2s, both with over 1,000 players daily in the evening hours, that is a huge, huge, huge potential gain for R Factor 2, for Le Mans Ultimate, for the Studio 397 products, I want to call it. And I think Le Mans Ultimate has brought us very much new features on top of what we already know on R Factor 2. That hybrid system is insanely complex and insanely detailed done. And I really, really love the way it behaves. I love the way it works. I love the way of opportunities it gives. You know, while it seems being limiting in the first place, it's just like, yeah, this is just an efficient game, whether you burn the ICE fuel or the electric fuel, who cares? It's like, no, the more electricity you can regain on the racing, on the driving, the less fuel you need to put in at the pit stop, which makes the car lighter over a long run, and so on. This is those kind of optimizations that, you know, people of R Factor 2, they have been given a new task, so to say. There is a new dimension to think about. There is a new dimension to take into consideration when it comes to strategy, when it comes to race planning. And now I really, really sincerely hope that we get driver swaps in, that we get hopefully custom servers in, that can host our own races, that leagues can host their own races. Doesn't necessarily need to be Le Mans virtual only, but I think they would need to be able to host their own services as well, although I would assume that they go via the official way in with race control. But let's see. At the end of the day, I absolutely love Le Mans Ultimate for what it is right now. It is one of the greatest early access games that I've played in 10 to 15 years. It is early access. That means it can produce flaws, it can create issues, it can fail, and it's an unfinished product. But so many products and so many games have been released in early access, and I don't think they've had the broad and wide player number audience that Le Mans Ultimate got. And I hope that every one of us is being patient, and every one of us is also appreciating the way the Studio 397 is dealing with all these issues, is working on all these issues. They are a small studio after all, and they're bringing weekly hot fixes and patches, and the game is being developed and improved on a weekly basis, and I hope soon also being much more stable, and keep adding more and more facts and more content, more and more features in the future. I'm really looking forward to that. And also to the guys of Studio 397, thank you for creating Le Mans Ultimate the way it is already as an early access. I'm really, really happy that we have the opportunity to enjoy these World Endurance Championship cars. Hypercar is so fun to drive, great sound, great feeling. The new LMP2 is so much better than the LMP2 we've had on R Factor 2 for years. The front is finally doing something. The FFB is really, really great, I think, on LMP2 car on Le Mans Ultimate. I think that is one of the best cars we have in sim racing right now. And yeah, guys, I would love, obviously, to have your opinion on Le Mans Ultimate. I would love to also maybe have your thoughts about the 20 minutes that I've talked again now. Maybe to round it up where we started roughly 20 minutes ago. That is perhaps something I should work on, to not be too talkative at all the time, not to keep endlessly building sentences to bore you out, maybe to be a little bit more on point. I'm trying to therapy myself a little bit with these Michi's Esport diaries, only then to find out that if I got once again to that 20-minute mark. I try to keep them shorter in the future for sure. Maybe I'll be able to do so. Guys, anyway, once again, a mega big thank you for 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank you for all the support everywhere, whether that is YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. I really appreciate everyone's time. I really appreciate everyone's commitment, feedbacks, interaction, comments, opinions, and so on. Keep that, guys. Keep that up. Keep it floating. Keep it coming. Have a great time. Have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.